All right, guys, welcome back to the channel, man. Tired, back home from work, man, and really didn't feel like uploading a video today, man. But figure it's been a long time since I've uploaded, man. So it's time to get back to it, man. So the topic for today, I think, would be why some AA meetings, or maybe a lot of the AA meetings you've attended, are no good or they suck. So really looking at this topic, I remember coming to AA in the beginning, and I'm trying to grasp some new soil. I'm trying to get my roots to grasp some new soil. I'm trying to navigate my way through Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Which is my primary fellowship. Cocaine Anonymous, great fellowship. I got a lot of brothers in there. I love CA. That's one of my main fellowships too. It's just there's not a lot of CA where I'm at. I have to drive a little bit for CA. But AA is definitely a mainstay for me. So really when I came to Alcoholics Anonymous, it was hard to really dictate what was a good meeting versus a bad meeting, and I was going to a lot of bad meetings. And the reason for that is because the book talks about this idea. The book says that there's having shared in a common peril or problem is one element in the powerful cement which binds us or keeps us together. So it's one of the elements. And I remember my teacher telling me, Wade, he goes, Wade, there's two elements in cement. There's mortar and there's sand, right? So having shared in a common peril or problem, meaning that I'm an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict, you're a drug addict. That's one element. That's the common problem. That you're alcoholic, so am I. You're an addict, so am I. Okay? And so really he shared that idea, and he goes, Wade, having shared it in this common problem, that's one of the elements that's going to bind us together. That you're an addict, I'm an addict, that's our common problem. Really the common problem is lack of power, but it's that we're alcoholic and or addict or both or whatever. But that's only one element in the powerful cement which is going to bind us together. So there's two elements. Just like in cement, the mortar and sand, there's got to be two elements that are going to keep us together as addicts and alcoholics, sober or clean for the rest of our lives. There's got to be that second element. And the second element it talks about is we have discovered a common solution. So that's the second element that's going to keep us bonded together for the rest of our lives, clean and sober. I got to have these two elements. Any meeting I go to that's within Alcoholics Anonymous or even Cocaine Anonymous, they use the big book as well. There's got to be those two elements in the meeting that's going to hold this thing together. So when we look at the idea of a good meeting versus a bad meeting, I guess a good meeting would be a place that I could go to in Alcoholics Anonymous that's going to be talking about the same common solution that I've been taught in my sponsorship lineage, right? Without those two elements, and this is why you see in a lot of different meetings maybe you go to, there's going to be a core, maybe a small few people that are in that meeting consistently week after week, and you're going to see a lot of different new people coming into the meeting, coming back as new. There's going to be a lot of newer people in the meeting, and there's going to be a lot of different new people week after week. You're not going to see a lot of the same faces. And the reason why is because there's not going to be a common solution in that meeting. So they're going to have maybe a common problem that they're alcoholic or addict or both. But they're not going to have that second element, that common solution in the meeting. And that's typically going to be the crappy meetings, right? Because they're going to be talking about their cat, or hey, let me just check in for the day. Let me talk about this, or let me talk about work, or let me talk about anything under the sun, my chick or my dude or my dog. Or there's going to be a lot of different things that people are going to share in those meetings that have nothing to do with the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And there is the problem. Those are the meetings that are not going to have any power in the meeting. See, the big book talks about the idea that the message which can interest and hold these alcoholic people or these addict people must have depth and weight. There's got to be some message in the meeting that's going to shake me to my core, whether it's looking at step one and talking about the brutality of this illness of alcoholism, this threefold nature illness, or they're gonna be talking about their experience with the men's, or writing a piece of inventory and crying their eyes out, and getting free, and sharing secrets in the fifth step and all the weird stuff and that we do. And I mean, there's got to be some power in the meeting. The message which can interest and hold these addict or alcoholic people must have depth and weight. And so when I was going to these meetings as a newcomer, I didn't know that they were crappy meetings, but I didn't know. I just know that when I left the meeting, I didn't feel any more lifted up or on a different footing than I did before going to the meeting. As a matter of fact, I felt worse. I felt more hopeless after leaving the meeting, and I couldn't tell you why. Now I know, and this is why I'm sharing it with you, is because there's no common solution in the meeting. There's no power. There's no talk about sharing an experience. If we're at a meeting, every meeting should be, I like how my teachers talk about the idea, it should be a pep rally where we talk about the power of God working in our life. And if the meeting has nothing to do with that, there's no power in the meeting, there's no common solution in the meeting, which is why there's no power in it, those meetings are going to suck. And I'm sure that you, whoever watches this video, has been there, has been in those meetings where you can yawn through it, you're almost falling asleep, they're so goddamn boring. And I've been to them myself. And I leave the meeting feeling more hopeless than I did when I came into the meeting, because there's no solution. There's no talk about sponsorship. There's no talk about, hey, I just wrote down my resentment inventory. I did a fear inventory. I did a sex conduct inventory. I did my fifth step with my sponsor last Wednesday. There's no talk about the steps at all. There's no talk about that common solution that people are actively, keyword, actively engaging in. Currently, not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago, not 15 years ago, but a current piece of step work that they're in, or a current experience with a sponsee, that somebody that they're taking through the work. And we sat down and we looked at some amends cards the other day, and those are the meetings that are going to be powerful. If you come to my home group in Riverside at the Riverside Alano Club Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, it's me and my sponsorship lineage. There was a few of us that started locally. My sponsor, myself, one of my sponsee, actually is now he was my sponsee brother, now he's my sponsee, or just a brother that I work with. I like saying that better. But now it's like 80 of us locally. And if you come to that Wednesday night meeting at the Riverside Alano Club at 8 o'clock, it's called the Lay Aside Big Book Group Study. We took a group conscience, we changed the name of it. It's my sponsorship lineage is deep in that meeting. My guys run it. And you're gonna hear a common solution, and you're gonna hear, no matter if it's one of my buddies that Victor shares, or Alex, or Gilbert, or Greg, or it doesn't matter who shares in the meeting. You're gonna hear that common solution, that second element that's gonna keep us bonded together for life. And you're not gonna see a whole lot of new people and different new people coming in and out of our meeting every single week. We're gonna grab them. We're going to carry that message in the meeting of where we're at currently in the steps, because we have that common solution. We're all in the same sponsorship lineage. So we're going to be on the same page. The book talks about the idea that we have a way out upon which we can absolutely agree. There's not going to be differing messages in the meeting. We're all on the same page. We're not going to be saying, not one person's going to say, oh, you just need to do yoga, or maybe you need to get laid, or maybe you need to do this. There's going to be none of that in the meeting. We're all on the same page. We have our big books. We bring them ourselves to the group. The books that we work out of currently, we bring them. We're on point, and we're going to deliver that message of truth and hope. We've got to have that second element. And that's why you don't see a lot of new people in our meeting. They may come in new, they get with one of us, we take them through, they hear a message of depth and weight, we take them through the steps, they have a revolutionary spiritual awakening or experience, they get recovered, and then they go and they bring it back to the group, and they tell the new guy or the person with time who's struggling with the spiritual malady, with those bedevilments on page 52, we're going to bring that message back. In closing, we've all been to crappy AA meetings. But why are some meetings crappy and some meetings great? And the message is the answer is very simple. Is there a solution in the meeting? Are there people working the steps, reworking the steps, taking others through the steps in that meeting? If that is the case, and they have found a common solution through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, that meeting is going to be fire. That meeting is going to make you cry, tear up, get emotional, get excited for the steps, get excited for the work, because people that are actively doing the work are excited about the work. And that people that aren't currently in the steps, it's been so long, there's not going to be any power in the message, because I can't stay spiritually full on the food that I ate yesterday. Just like I can't stay drunk or loaded off the dope that I hit yesterday or the alcohol that I drank yesterday. It's very simple. You come to one of our solution-based groups, we all have a common solution. We're part of the same sponsorship lineage. We're actively working the steps, reworking the steps, taking others through the steps. We're engaged in that circle and triangle, the unity, recovery, and service. And people are excited about the work. People are excited about the steps. People are sharing their current experience with the steps, and people are excited because they're taking others to the steps and with that same common solution, and others are getting well, and we get to watch their lives change and their lives grow and their families get reunited and their homes that were in turmoil come together. An experience that you must not miss, the book talks about. So really, guys, I just want to check in. I'm going to upload consistently. I got so many topics, so much. I still got to go through give a brief synopsis on the rest of the steps. I got many ideas for the channel to really give you guys everything that's been given to me. All the knowledge, all the experience, and then let you guys decide what you want to do with it. And so you guys could either have your first experience or have a new experience with time if you've been through the work before. So I love you guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I get back to people quick. If slap a comment, hey, the video sucked, Wade, or hey, the video was great. Any feedback is great. Until the next time, man, let's get recovered. Let's stay recovered, and let's turn our meetings into a pep rally where we talk about the power of God working in human life. And that's the deal. People were taken from the scrap heap the book talks about to a level of life better than that they have ever known. I mean, how true is that? What a promise that is that the book gives us, man, from the scrap heap. So really, that's it for the video for tonight, guys. Tired, ready to go to bed. I love you guys, and let's do the damn thing. Thank you.